My peoples, welcome to episode 8 of Rant and Randomness. I am Luvvie Ajayi, and this is my show where I rant, rave, and spotlight things I'm loving and just have a good time. So I am here at the Chicago Recording Company, bring y'all the radio voice. How you doing? And this episode, looking forward to talking about the petty clapback, the racist that's been happening recently, ranting about how social media can make us feel bad about our lives, and talking about the Black Women in Politics database that we should all know about. And my guest is the amazing Jussie Smollett. So it's gonna be a good show. Let's jump into it. All right, so this week, honestly, I am really excited about how the internet has taken on racists in the funniest ways. We keep finding out about people who are, white women who are calling cops on Black folks just existing. And there's the woman who called the cops on a Black man who was barbecuing in a park in Oakland. Well, there's a video of the whole thing where she calls the cops, bugs these people, the cops show up, and she starts crying. The internet, in all its glory and undefeated status, has turned her into the most epic meme, and her name has been changed to BBQ Becky, and she's been added to all types of random scenes. It has given me endless cackles for about 2 weeks. It's how we take the tragic and make it funny. It's a coping mechanism that helps. And it's made me feel good because this woman, I think her name is like Jennifer Schulte or something, and she works in Stanford. This woman's image is officially being like a legendary meme. And that makes me feel good because maybe now she'll know to do better. And how about you don't call cops on Black people for existing? Actually, that whole situation made me feel good because the Black folks in Oakland decided to do a massive barbecue, where they did the electric slide at that same park as a way to kind of be like, in your face, we belong here. People's friends just been showing out lately. Like, white folks just been showing out lately. And one thing the internet does is allows us to congregate and find something good out of it. So BBQ Becky has given me life. It's just so good. Like, people send me a new one every single day. And I'm just here like, yes, let us swag surf in honor of the white tears that poured from this woman who thought she was doing something. And now her name is ruined. Whoever knows her is probably ashamed that they know her because now she's officially like internet famous, which means you can never not be internet famous once you become one. Like, once you become a meme, that's kind of it for you, man. Especially this type of a meme. Lord. Somebody who actually follows me lives in Oakland, and they saw her the other day, and they said they called the cops on her. I said, oh, bless her heart. Bless her heart. But yeah, that was dope. And then, as y'all know, by the sound that plays when you first turn on this podcast, I am a huge Afrobeats fan. I'm a proud Naija girl. Afrobeats is like popular music that's out of West Africa, especially Ghana and Nigeria. And it's my favorite type of music. My absolute favorite. And I usually get on Instagram or Facebook and do these lives where I'm just dancing to my favorite Afrobeat song in a moment. So y'all were asking me for a playlist. And since this is also how I get ready for my keynotes, it's how I get ready for anything that's about to be hype, right? I was like, all right, let me bless the people with my Afrobeats playlist. So it is officially ready, all right? I have a playlist, Afrobeats Love, that has 76 songs on it. It's 4 hours and 30 minutes of fire from the motherland, and it's good. People have been messaging me to be like, yo, I'm jamming to your playlist right now. The way to get the link, you can subscribe to my newsletter. I'll put the link in the show notes so y'all can check it out. Subscribe to my newsletter, and you'll get an email that has a link to it. It's on Spotify and Apple Music. You can also search for Afrobeats Love on both platforms. Either way, get your life. I want you to feel good. When you listen to Afrobeats, like really good Afrobeats, you can't help but dance. So I typically don't listen to it when I'm trying to do some work because it means I can't really accomplish anything but body rolling. So I'm just letting you put that out there. It's good for exercise. It's good for a Saturday morning cleaning session, okay? Work day, I can't concentrate when I'm listening to it, so I typically don't listen to it at work. But it's a way to make y'all feel good, jam. So yeah, check the show notes for how to get it. And then, because y'all are dope, another thing that I've been reading are the reviews that you've been leaving about this podcast on iTunes. Somebody called Tunefully Saved said, I've been looking for a podcast that is positive, uplifting, smart, funny, and real. Well, here it is, and I'm loving it, and I'm new to your podcast, but I'll recommend this to everyone I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Please continue to share it. Somebody named Junior's mom said, for someone who has been following Awesomely Luvvie since 2013, this podcast is giving me life. I love how she shares a rant and rave and interview in every podcast. The guests are dope and share real business and life lessons that are easy to digest and learn from. The podcast is how I felt when I listened to the audio for I'm Judging You. Reading the book and blog is great, but listen to the voice in real time is even sweeter. Thank you, Luvvie, for allowing us a seat at the table through this podcast. My pleasure. I am so glad you're loving it. And then somebody named Truly Trisha said, Luvvie's is honest, snarky, hilarious, and genuine as she is on her site, her social media, and her book. I love listening to her talk through important issues and topics that, as a 30-year-old white girl, I need to not only pay attention to, but connect to and learn from. Thank you, Luvvie. Appreciate you for learning, for being here, for listening, Trisha. Thanks. So yeah, keep the reviews coming. I read them. I love them. They give me life. And I'll share them. All right, so my rant this week is something that really connected with people when I talked about it online. And it's the idea that you shouldn't let social media make you feel bad about your life. I wrote a Facebook status that was just prompted by me seeing a lot of people lament about like the royal wedding, or like just being like, dang, I wish I had that, or I wish I had this person's life. So my status said, do not let social media make you feel bad about your life, because you might see your peers doing things you wish you were doing. Your time will come just as theirs has come if you're willing to put in the work. Your job is to live life in the best way you know how. What these platforms should do is inspire you to do just that. Hopefully, what you take away from people's lives is that yours needs to be as true as possible. Do not let comparison steal your joy. And when you feel it creeping up, log off, sit with yourself and figure it out, and see if what you're feeling is based off the fact that you know that you can be doing better, not just the need to compete with someone else's win. Here's the thing about social media. A lot of times we share our highlight reels, what we're sharing on Facebook and Instagram, on Twitter, just across all these platforms are the good things, are like the wins, the awards, the events, the cool stuff that happens, the books that drop. We share these things because, it's great to just kind of like talk about your life. But oftentimes in the process, people will idealize other people's lives because they're seeing the highlight reel. You see the person like glowing up or getting married and having babies, and you're thinking everything's all good. And what you don't understand is they're sharing that stuff, but you don't know their silent struggles. Just the things that they're not sharing are things that you might never have any idea how deep they are, how painful they are, how tough. So then you look at people's lives on social, the sepia toned version of their lives, and it might make you envious, like, because you're thinking the grass is green on the other side. But I wanted to kind of stop people to be like, yo, here's the thing. Like, it is easy to feel envy or jealousy when you look at so many people's lives on social. It is, because it's painted so nicely. It's curated. But we have to fight that temptation to look at folks' lives and want it. I always think about, like, my journey, how, like, people have seen the glow up, especially in the last couple of years. And I've seen comments where people are like, oh my God, this happened so quick. Oh my God, I'm so proud. And I'm like, y'all don't even know some of the struggles. But here's the thing. I'm one of the ones who tries to share the struggles. It's why I share the glory and the grind. It's why I try to make sure I bring people into the journey, even beyond the cool stuff that's happening. I like to make sure I'm telling people the other side of it. They're seeing me get on planes every other day and it looks glamorous because I'm sharing a picture sitting on the plane. But what you might not see that I will then share right after is that I've been sitting on the tarmac for 2 hours after traveling all day, only eaten one time, and I am ready to slide off my chair and just lay on the ground. I don't care if I'm in first class or not. The struggle is so real. So recently, 2 weeks ago, I shared a particularly bad travel day that I had. It was where I ended up in 2 cities in 48 hours to do speaking engagements, keynotes, and headed back to Chicago. Our flight got diverted to Minneapolis because the weather in Chicago was bad. It was like 8 p.m. At this point, I'd only eaten one time. I'd been on a 7-hour flight. So when we landed in Minneapolis, we just sat in the terminal for an hour, and then they go, "Your flight is canceled." Listen, I actually cried because I was like so unable to deal. I was just like, I just want to get home and sit on my bed. The next day, our flight was supposed to leave at 9 a.m. So I had to get a hotel room, all this stuff. Flight was supposed to leave at 9 a.m. I get to the airport at 7:30 after only sleeping 3 hours. Get to the desk, and the woman says, "Oh, the flight is not leaving until 12:30. When I tell you I sobbed in the middle of the Minneapolis airport, I was just like, I just want to go home. I did not have the skills to cope with it at that point. So when people see so many people just doing all these things and traveling and working really hard, and they're like, man, I wish I had that. Man, sometimes you are on your last nerve. You haven't eaten. You are just like delirious from fatigue. And it's that type of stuff that I mean, that like you can't just look at people's highlight reels and want that. Because if you want that, also take the struggles that come with it. And on social, yeah, we'll compare ourselves to other people like, man, she's my age. She's doing all these things. Why am I not doing all these things? Man, timing. Everybody's timing is different. Everybody's timing and everybody's journey is different. You won't pop at the same time. There are billionaires who were broke until they were 40. Like there are people who, Ava DuVernay, who is now everywhere. She didn't pick up her first camera until she was like 33, 32. So I just want to make sure people really understand the idea that you cannot let social make you feel bad because you're comparing yourself to other people. Your journey is specifically yours. It cannot be replicated. My journey cannot be replicated. We can give you the blueprint. We can tell you exactly how we did it. It still can't be replicated, and that's okay. Like, you have to kind of sit with yourself again when you're having these feelings, when you're like, oh my God, this made me feel bad. Log off. If you have to log off for a little bit, get yourself back together, go journal, go write something, go figure out what you're grateful for, what is working for you right now, and then come back with perspective. That's like, all right, that's cool. It might be taking longer than usual, but this is exactly how it should go. I remember times 4 or 5 years ago. Again, it's all about not comparing yourself. There's a Facebook status that I posted 5 years ago, I think, or 4 years ago, April, where I said something like, I felt like the class clown of blogosphere. I felt that like my peers were doing things that I wasn't getting the opportunity to do. And sometimes it made me feel bad. And my people kind of spoke me up. They were like, girl, you're not. What you're doing is fine. What you're doing is perfect for you right now. Follow that, honor that. What's interesting is that is the year that I came up with my book idea. Like 4 months later, I came up with my book idea. I got my book deal a year later. A lot can change in a year for you. So if you're still working and you're like, I'm hitting walls, I don't know what's going on, things aren't going well for me, why should I keep doing this? Honestly, if it's the thing that you love, and if you're living your life in the way that is most compelling to you and most true to you, keep doing that. Your time will come. Put in the work. And yeah, your time will come. Just keep doing it. Like, don't quit. Don't hit the wall and just quit. Because right before, it might be right after that you're going to pop. So, yeah, I just wanted to encourage people with that. And, yeah, your life is just fine the way it is right now if you know you're doing it in the best way you know how. So that's my rant. Take heart. Cheering for you. All right, so my randomness spotlight is the Black Women in Politics database. Let me give you the background on how this thing happened. So when the Alabama elections was happening in December between what's his name? Roy Moore and Doug Jones? Yeah. And everybody knew that Roy Moore was the one that you did not want to get into office because he's essentially like an alleged sexual assaulter. And his background sucks. Like he was in the news weeks leading up to the election from all the fact that he kind of prowls for young girls. So you would think that this man who is basically a cartoon villain would not even come close to winning. I think he was trying to be governor of Alabama. If I'm wrong, it's all right. But he should have never even been close. So when the election happened, him and Doug Jones were really, really close. Mind you, it's not like people love Doug Jones, but we were just like, hopefully folks vote for the guy who's not the cartoon villain. Well, that day, oh my God, that election was mad close. Thankfully, Roy Moore lost, Doug Jones won, but he won by a tiny margin. And what allowed Doug Jones to win is that the Black women in Alabama showed up in droves and voted for him in order to nullify Roy Moore shenanigans. Basically, Black women saved the day, as we tend to do over and over again, even when people don't deserve to be saved. Essentially, we are making sure that we are doing the things we can so this world is less terrible every single day. And on that day, the fact that Black women, when the demographics came out, that Black women saved the day, everyone was like, oh my God, look, people really showed up. Why? Because white women dropped the ball. Overwhelmingly, they voted for Roy Moore in Alabama, as in they voted for a man who would actively like try to get with their daughters. And it kind of drove the point home that if there's anybody you can count on, it's Black women. So I remember being like, yo, is there a place where I can find out who all the Black women who are running for office in the United States are? And I did research. I didn't find nothing. I asked Twitter. People on Twitter started just tweeting me names of different people who run for office around the country. And I was like, why is there not a central location for all of this? So I got the idea of I was like, there needs to be one because I would find this useful for me so I can know who to support, who to vote for, who to donate to, who to volunteer for, et cetera, et cetera. So that day, I hit up two of my friends, Celie Rocio and Lucretia Braxton, and I hit up my Candace Jones, who works with me, and I said, I need you guys tonight for 5 hours of your time tonight. Help me compile this list of people who are being sent to me, Black women who are running for office around the country. Help me do this list. So actually, we ended up spending 8 hours each of our time, 8 hours that day, compiling the list, searching through the Facebook thread that I created, and the Twitter thread where people were replying with names. And we put together this list. And the next morning, I published a list on awesomelyluvvie.com, my blog, because I was like, you know what, this is where it'll be more visible. We had 126 women who were running for office around the country, 126 Black women, local, federal, and state offices. And that list went nuts. People were sharing it. People were like, it had their names, it had the office they were running for, and it had their website and their donate links. And people were just like, oh my God, I'm so glad this is here. I didn't realize how needed it was until it got such a groundswell of love and support. So it was right before Christmas break. And people were like, oh my God, you're missing this person. And I was like, you know what? Let's set up a Google link and have people submit other people. Well, a week later, a developer hit us up. His name is Jeff Rafman. He was like, hey, can I help you guys actually create this into a searchable database? And we said, word. Listen, everybody donated their time. I bought the URL and the hosting. And in 2 weeks, we put up the website, blackwomeninpolitics.com, and it has a database in it. When we relaunched it in January 2018, there were 400 Black women on this list who were running for office around the country. And you could search by state. by by state. You could search alphabetically. You could search their names. And now the database has 600 Black women who are running for office. I'm spotlighting this because 2018 is a really important election year. And again, I think we need to put our power behind the people who show up for us constantly. Mind you, the database is not an endorsement list. It is a phone book. Think about it as a phone book. So your job is to go there, look at who's running in your area, in your state, around the country. Click on their websites, read more about them, see if their values align with yours, if their stances align with yours, and then decide whether you want to donate, whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to endorse them yourself. That is important to say. Like, this is a nonpartisan list. So I want people to make sure they're doing their due diligence of clicking the links. We've supplied the links for you. So we've made the research easy. We've made it easy to know who's running where. So your job is to search extra in there and do that work. A lot of people have been tweeting to say that this is the first time they've ever donated to a political campaign because now they know who to go to. The database is growing every day because people can submit other people who are missing in it. They can update information, and it's being updated constantly. So as of right now, there are 603 Black women running for office, 243 in blue states, 360 in red states, 211 incumbents, 392 challengers. There's 97 for federal seats, 215 for state seats, 267 for local seats. So go through there and really use this database, amplify the people whose stances you love, and just support these women. Because I think more Black women need to be in office. More of us need to have decision-making power on these levels and in these rooms where laws are being made that can make or break us. And for me, this database is not something that I'm trying to get paid for. It is just a labor of love. I'm paying for it right now. And I think it's just necessary for us to have it. And I always think about the whole thing of, like, if there's something that you want to exist that doesn't exist, you create it. That's essentially what me and my homies did here. And yeah, use it as a resource and amplify it. And you don't necessarily have to say, oh my God, it's about Luvvie. No. It can stand by itself, the Black Women in Politics database. So blackwomeninpolitics.com is how you access it. And cool. All right, so I'm so excited to have my guest today, Jussie Smollett. He is a friend and just all around dope person. What up, Jussie?
What's up, Luvvie? Hello, Luvvie.
Last time I saw Jussie, let me tell you about last time I saw Jussie in person. Well, besides your album release party, but before then, me and you were at Cynthia Erivo's birthday party, and Cynthia's vegan. So Cynthia's menu was a lot of really healthy stuff. Why did Jussie go up to Cynthia like, Cynthia, now you know we Black. Where's the chicken?
I'm like, where is the food? See, here's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Cynthia is not just a vegan. Cynthia is a nutrition vegan. Like, she's the type of vegan that my mama would be. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, it's a little bit of food. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I'm down with the vegan thing. I've been a pescatarian for almost a year now. I mean, that ain't vegan.
A whole year.
A whole year. At the same time, I'm like, yo, see, what's good? So what's for dinner?
We were like, where's the real food? Are they bringing out the real food after this?
So when we're done eating like cats, when can we eat like Black? Yo, but the thing is, it was a little bit, but that food was bomb.
It was.
Oh, bomb.
I was like,
that's when I fell in love with you. I'm like, okay, she's as cool in person as she seems, from what I've seen. So, and then it's just been love fest ever since.
It's love, man. I'm gonna let these people know your bio because you just epic. So Jussie Smollett is known for his groundbreaking role as tortured pop star Jamal Lyon in the mega hit TV series Empire. And he's emerging beyond what many call one of the most powerful characters on TV. And yes, the show is a pop culture phenomenon, smashing records, and is quite symbolic for Jussie Smollett. But his arrival at this pivotal moment with the release of his album, Some of My Music, on March 2nd, 2018, is a culmination of years of perseverance that started for him quite literally at the age of 4 and has delivered him to the present as a singer, songwriter, actor, director, performer, and activist. Yes!
Somebody loved me who wrote that.
Okay.
My mama wrote that.
She was like, let me tell you how good my baby is. Yes.
That I'm gonna go and talk to my mama. She has that written. That's good. Okay, come on now.
So have you always wanted to be a performer? Like, is that what you wanted to do when you were growing up?
Yeah, I don't remember a time. I don't know of a time, and I don't think that time ever existed that I didn't know what I was going to do. I think that at an early age, you kind of know what your gifts are, but from an early age, I knew that in order for us to stay out of trouble, my mom would keep us out of trouble by, doing plays, and we were marching around with her like, Black Von Trapp early on in my life from The Sound of Music. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a way to keep her kids out of trouble, keep them engaged, and keep them, creative. And I think that it definitely worked. I don't remember a time that there was anything else that I wanted to do other than entertainment and be an entertainer. I think also, if I'm being real, it also came from, I knew from an early age that I could make people happy. And I'm sure that as a kid, it also came from the attention that I would get from making people happy. But I also think that it was something that I knew very early on that I was going to do forever.
I mean, because I've seen one of your throwback pictures. You was mad cute. Like, I could see people losing their minds.
I had a little curl in the center of my forehead that would not rise up.
The Superman curl?
I had all the honey.
All the... And it's funny that you said the Black Von Trapps. Sound of Music is one of my favorite musicals. I actually was looking at y'all as like the Black Osmonds. The Smolletts, y'all are like a whole entertainment family.
Yeah. I don't know about the Black Osmonds stuff. Y'all don't know about that. But
Oh, the Von Trapps are better?
I like the Von Trapps. I love the Osmonds. God bless them. But I think the Von Trapps might be cooler.
So how did y'all become this entertaining family? Like,
it was back in the day. We used to watch TV. We used to watch the Huxtables, and my older sister would call up NBC, and she'd be like a complete ignorant person. She'd be like 7 years old, 7 years old, calling up 411 to get the number for NBC, and call up the operator and be like, I want to be really spread. And my mom, for the longest time, was like, show business. Like, you're not getting into show business. Like, we do this for fun. We're creative. If you want to do it when you get older, that's your business. But then living in New York, you get that a lot of times when you're walking around, especially in the 80s, of people being like, oh, your kids should be models, should be this, should be that. And again, it started out completely, I think, like Little League. You know what I'm saying? Your kid wants to play Little League, so, you put them on a team. But it doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to play professional baseball. You're just doing what they love to do right now. And then it turned into, really, at the end of the day, entertainment is for most of us, it's still to this day, it's a family business. So, there was never a time that we got into it as kid models, and then we started doing commercials and music videos. And I was in a video, we were all in the video for Lenny Kravitz's first video for Let Love Rule. And then and things like that. And then we moved to LA, and that's when Mighty Ducks and North and all of these movies started happening, our TV show. And that was that.
Which one of you was in Mighty Ducks?
Luvvie, it ain't that hard to miss me in Mighty Ducks. I'm the only one of two black people.
Wait. You just blew my mind.
I was Brandon Adams' little brother, Terry Hall.
I love that movie. That was you.
Y'all better ask somebody.
You better ask somebody. You better drop these receipts. I love that movie. I had not thought that, oh my God. I literally had to go watch it again. I remember you had mad attitude in that movie too.
I mean, I had 2.3 lines, but
Yo, this is nuts. I remember your sister Journey in Full House.
Oh, see, you bringing it back.
I'm bringing it back. I remember she was Michelle's friend.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny too. I remember my mama is so blickety black. I remember during that time, and my mom always, she was any chance she had for us to rock a fro, for us to rock some twisties, for us to rock anything like that, she was gonna take it. And I remember on Full House, she used to twist up Journey's hair every single time, and she would make sure. And it's just like my mother. That's the other thing about my mother. Like, we would always bring ourselves, our organic, authentic selves, you know, as much as possible to what we were doing.
Yep, she surely did have the little twist, the little black girl next to Michelle. And I loved it, though, because it's so subversive in a time when they wanted her to have straight hair. And your mom was probably like, nah, son, I'm good.
Yeah, and I think it was also that time, you know, still to this day we deal with that. Still that time of, okay, so you are definitely the best for the role, but we're also really glad that somehow this is the acceptable, you know what I'm saying, version of Black. And somehow I know that what my mother did all through these years, and it was like to be righteous was that important and is that important, is just the idea that she always interjected who we are and celebrated who we are, and no matter what we were doing. So it was, you know, even that bullshit that that I know that we dealt with, of, you know, oh, well, this is acceptable enough. You know what I'm saying? Still, she fought against that, and that's why we fight so hard against that to this day.
And you haven't shied away from making your political beliefs known. And I love when you talk about how Black your mom was. Like, I want you to talk more about, like, how she made you into this person who is exactly who he is in any room he walks in.
Because, that's a good question. I'm exactly who I am no matter what room I walk in, because she's exactly who she is no matter what room she walks in. I mean, I just want you to meet her, because my mom is the most harmonious, wonderful person, but she really has no filter. You know what I'm saying? She's going to say what she's going to say, and it's never going to be malicious or facetious or anything like that, but it is the truth. And that's the thing, is like, we grew up constantly hearing the term, and we would make fun of her about it. Like, we clown her. We'd be like, oh, mommy's always saying that. That's what mommy said. She'd always keep on saying all the time, every day. She'd be like, honor, honesty, honor, honesty, honor, honesty. You know, as a kid, you grow up, you might lie about some dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we would get into, like, major trouble and get major lectures about telling the smallest lie. You know what I'm saying? And what she would bang into our heads was always honor, honesty in everything that you do. And I think that is why we're able to walk in our truth in every single way, whether it is, you know, race or culture or religion, sexuality, gender, age, whatever it is. We're able to walk in that truth because it was literally with a love stick beat into us. You know what I'm saying? She beat into us with a love stick to honor honesty, and that's what we'll always be.
So this industry is really hard because it tempts even people who have heard honor honesty. It moves people out of who they are, out of, like, being who they are. Have you ever been tempted to, like, be a different version of you, and what kept you on that path?
That's a good ass question, love.
You know, I be trying out here. You know what I mean? Little Oprah.
Yeah. Okay, baby, Oprah. Okay, little O. Oh my goodness. I would be lying if I said that I've never been tempted.
Yeah.
I'd be absolutely lying.
Yeah.
I'd like to sit here and be like, no, I'm always be me. I'm always, you know what I'm saying? And that's true. It's true. But in those times when you are faced with, you know, when you have $17 in your account, you're trying to find $3 to deposit it so you could take a 20 out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In those moments, sure, of course it tempts you to be like, yo, I'm going to go and I'm going to do that role. Yo, I'm just going to do what this director says. I'm just going to do what this writer or producer says. And I'm going to get my money and I'm going to go because I'm struggling or I'm trying to make something. I'm trying to build something. But at the end of the day, that's that fast food nation, you know, theory. You know what I'm saying? Of everything has to be right now. But in actuality, if you're fooling people, then they're going to find out sooner or later.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's one of the lyrics in my song on my album. Some of my music available everywhere where good music is sold. On the song Insecurities, I said, will his blackness scare white folks away? way? Will they all turn when they hear he's gay? Is my success just one big mistake? Nah, don't be a bitch listening to what they say. That's just my insecurity. And it's just a thing of finding a way to realize that. I remember the perfect example is I did this movie, and this was before Empire. This was like, I was struggling, and this was like 2-scene movie. And I went in there, and it was me playing opposite this young white woman. And the way that the scene was played was not the way that it was written. And the way that it was played, after we were supposed to have had sex, and then the next morning, she is regretting it, and she's like, what the hell did I do? So basically, I was playing asleep, right? And just the way that it was played, it wasn't played comical. Instead, it was played where it felt almost like I was some predator. And I remember going to the director and saying, I'm not really comfortable. And keep in mind, I ain't had no name. Wasn't nobody checking for me. Wasn't nobody being like, oh, you're that guy from Mighty Ducks 90 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I was doing this. I went to the director and I said, listen, I'm not really comfortable with the way that this is played because I feel like this is actually offensive. It's going to come across me being a black man and her being a white, blonde woman. You know, that somehow this is going to come across as predatorial, and I'm really not down with that. Don't you know I ended up being cut out of that movie?
What?
I mean, I ended up getting cut out of the movie. And here's the thing. So fucking what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know that stuff will live forever. And years from now, when I have, right now, when I have the career that I have now that I'm building, people would be able to go back to that and be like, yo, well, what's up with this foolish ass, buffoonery that you were doing? Right. So it's like, in those moments, of course you're tempted, but in those moments, you got to just step up and let your balls hang. And you got to just be like, listen, this is what we're not going to do.
And it's worth it. I think speaking up like that, because now you can actually look at yourself in the mirror and nobody dragging you on Twitter for it.
Thank you. Because, they will find it.
They will find it. The internet got some research skills. I just be like, y'all be finding all types of stuff on people.
Everything. They'd be finding pictures of me that I'm just like, I never took that picture, but that's me. How is that possible?
I mean, the research is real. Now, you talk about Empire. That character, Jamal, he gets into a lot of shenanigans. Do you ever see yourself or your story reflected in him? Or is he completely separate from who you are in every way?
No, I definitely see my story reflected in him. And since obviously he was written before I got the role. But at the end of the day, and he was created, obviously, the character is based on Lee Daniels growing up. His experiences just obviously heightened in the world of Empire and as like billionaires. His life was exactly the opposite. But at the same time, you have to realize that we've been doing this show for 4 seasons now. And so, of course, our own personalities, one of my best friends now is Gabrielle Sidibe. So, of course, they interject that. I adore her. Of course, they interject that storyline in Empire. You know what I'm saying? I went independent and left Columbia Records and doing my music all on my own. They interjected somehow that storyline as Jamal. I mean, my shit is more real, but my shit is hard. But still, definitely we see that. But I think that what I share with Jamal is our sense of loyalty, our sense of heart. I think that if you look at it, Jamal is still the only Lion member that's never gone against the family. But the difference is that I was not born with any kind of spoon, silver, plastic, dirty, rusted spoon in my mouth when I was born. I've had to work for every single thing that I have. And, he's had to work for it, but it's just in a different way. But I definitely see our storylines kind of in real life and in the show kind of rubbing against each other closely sometimes. Sometimes it's exciting. Sometimes it's like, y'all, please, come on.
Yeah, like, what I love is how, like, after season 1 of Empire, people really understood that you weren't just an actor. You, like, this gifted artist. So now that you have some of my music and you geeked, shout out to you. Like, I want you to kind of talk about how, like, what this project means to you and why people need to come through and drop these iTunes coins.
It just means, drop these iTunes coins. It just means, to me, it means freedom. And it is that deep. You know what I'm saying? I've been so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. Every single day. I remember my older sister told me before I even booked Empire, she said, pray for humility every single day. And I do, you know. But this is freedom. This feels like it's exactly where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a long time coming. God, Lee keeps on calling me, trying to FaceTime me, and I'm on this phone with y'all, and I'm keep on deleting, declining. I love you, declining. But yeah, what it means is freedom, and it's something about like art. When art is created, and you're not able to release that art, you can get creative blue balls, no matter what you're doing.
Creative
that is satisfying
blue balls.
But
wow.
You feel me? Like when I say that, you completely understand
I
that,
get
right?
it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These creative blue balls where you just like, you're so grateful for what you have, but you're not truly, fully able to tap into it yet. And that is very frustrating. You're not able to tap into all of the fruits of your labor and your love. And for that can be very frustrating. So it was a fight, but it was a fight that was worth it. And it's a fight that I'm going to, in the long run, my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, and for the rest of my family's existence, will benefit from it. Will benefit from the hard work that we're doing right now. And that's some of my music, you know. I released it on my own label, Musical Sound.
Come on.
It's completely independent.
Ownership.
I'm telling you, I own my master's 100,000%.
Come on.
And that's right off the get. And I was just like, yo, whatever y'all go do, just give me my master's. And for that, I did a deal directly with Fox. I'm not getting into the contract with them, but I did the deal directly with Fox and was like, let me be the Columbia Records. Let me show you like that I can be my own Columbia Records. You know what I'm saying? And we've been doing it, and we've been doing really, really well. And listen, don't get me wrong. It's hard, bro. Like, it's hard. Yeah. It's going to take longer because at the end of the day, a record company's job is to kind of break through all of the noise.
Right.
And it works for so many people, and I'm so happy for them, but it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I'm not good. I'm not patient enough, and I don't do well with red tape. So for that, it's wonderful, and there's no shade. I swear to you, there's no shade. But at the same time, it's something that I have to do for myself. That's all. So that's what some of my music represents to me, is freedom and ownership and, you know, building my own, for, you know, lack of a cliche, but building my own empire. That's what it's about.
Hey. So if you had to create your own supergroup in real life, who would you include?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Am I a part of this supergroup, or this is...
You in the supergroup.
Okay. Ooh. Ah. Okay. So supergroup would be... Now, wait, this is a 90s R&B supergroup. Okay? Yeah. The supergroup is Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Prince.
Ooh.
Maxwell.
Oh, snap. Okay.
And Whitney Houston for some flavor.
Come on. Look, I listen to that all day, every day.
Ooh. What would be the name of our group?
Oh.
The name of our group would be, I don't know what the name of our group would be, but the name of our album would be Falsetto to Settle Your Soul.
Falsetto to Settle Your... Listen, I'll be banging that album every day.
Oh, no. No, the name of the album will be Falsetto for the Soul. That's what it is.
Wow. I mean, I need that in my life because I still listen to mostly 90s R&B. Like, most of my music that I still jam to besides Afro beats, because I'm Nigerian, is 90s R&B. Okay, so...
You like Young Paris?
Who's that?
You got to get hip to Young Paris. If you like Afro beats, you got to get hip to Young Paris.
Oh,
Young Paris is so dope. Dope. I'm going to get you hip to that.
I'm going to need that. And then I always ask my guests, as we're all doing all these things and world dominating and following dreams, what do you do to take care of yourself?
That's a really good question. If I'm being honest, you my sis, if I'm being honest, I need to get better at actually doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with admitting that because I'm working really hard, you know, but I do need to get better at, and I don't mean when I say, oh, I need to get better at taking care of myself. I don't mean like, woe is me, like, oh, it's so hard, it's this, but I do need to, and I don't need a break because I look at it like this. I spent years, you know, out of acting from 13 to like 26, out of acting. And I worked every job that society considers to be normal possible, from retail to being a waiter to being a host to working in an office for an organization named Artists for New South Africa, raising money for kids infected and affected by HIV/AIDS in South Africa and here. I worked as a clown at children's parties, literally. But if I was lucky, for all those jobs except the office job is the only one. I was there for 5 years where I actually had like a week of vacation. I don't need a vacation. Now I'm doing exactly what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need a vacation. Sometimes I need a vacation from certain parts of it. Like I'm blessed and happy when I'm shooting Empire, but I'm also blessed and happy when I have a break from being Jamal, you know, to do other things. So it's like I don't need a break from this, but self-care, I spend a lot of time with my family, as much time as I can. But if I'm being honest with you, self-care, I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to get better at stopping and being like, yo, I need to sleep. Yo, I need to eat. Like I need something. I'm getting better at, you know, acknowledging that and keeping it gully.
See, I'm actually glad you admitted that you're bad at it. We all got to get better at it. We all got to get better at it. I just started in the last week and a half leaving my phone outside my bedroom when I'm going to bed. So I started doing that as like a way to just...
See, the only time that I really put my phone away is when I'm with my niece or my nephew, but it's still close to me just in case like their parents call. Mm-hmm. Or when I'm having like dinner with my baby. If I'm having dinner with Boo, the phone is gone because there's not a phone at the table unless we're like having a lunch during business hours, but we're never with the phone when we're eating.
See, that is a piece of self-care, taking that moment for y'all, for the love.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Bet. I appreciate you for coming on Rants and Randomness. You're the bomb.
I love you so much. I appreciate you, all you do. That's real talk.
You are on tour till June 12th, right?
I'm on tour until June 12th. We coming everywhere. You got to come to the Chicago show.
When is the Chicago show?
The Chicago show is, I'm going to text you. The Chicago show is, I believe, I should know this. I'm looking at it right now. The Chicago show is June 10th.
Oh, snap.
And,
okay.
Yeah, and then we close out June 12th in Detroit.
Oh, snap. Then come on, count me in. Text me. Give me the information.
I definitely will. Yeah, it's been dope. Like we went to Germany, we went to France, we went to Switzerland. Every single stop has been sold out. And like when you create something, there is that, I don't know about you, but for me, there is that part of like, you know, will they come? Will they care? Will they even care? You know what I'm saying? So it's been love, and it's been wonderful. It's just been amazing. So we did LA last night. We're doing everywhere, basically. Everywhere. And then in December, we're doing an African tour.
Oh, wait. Are you doing West Africa?
Yes, babe.
I might be there.
Yes, boo-boo.
All right.
You must.
I'm ready then. Let's do it.
You must. I'm so serious. We're doing 12 African nations.
Ooh,
and,
okay.
It's going to be pretty amazing.
All right. Yes, I am excited. This thing's going to soar, and I am really proud of you for making your dreams come true.
Thank you, boo. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Indeed. Chat with you later.
I love you, boo. I
love
you.
you.
A little bit.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Yo, shout out to Jussie Smollett for joining me. He's super dope. Please follow him on social media. He's at Jussie Smollett everywhere. That's JussieSmollett. It's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And of course, check out his album, Some of My Music. Also, much love to Chicago Recording Company for partnering with me on this. And subscribe to Rants and Randomness on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast fix at, and rate it. The podcast is also on social media now, so we have a Twitter account and an Instagram account. It's at Rants Randomness on Twitter, Rants and Randomness on Instagram. As always, you can follow me on social media. I am at Luvvie everywhere. See you on the next episode.